passage of Megan's Law in 1995, Pennsylvanians were able to know where registered sex offenders lived and worked. Unfortunately, a loophole allowed some predators to slip through the cracks. Let's spend 5 minutes with a lawmaker who's working hard to close that loophole, State Representative Tarah Toohil. Thank you for joining us, Representative.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into loopholes that you closed, first, can you tell us what Megan's Law is?
Well, Megan's Law creates a national database where sexual offenders, sexually violent predators, people that have committed these most heinous crimes against children have to register. And basically it boils down to, in the communities, parents and neighbors are able to go online, they're able to go on the Pennsylvania State Police website and find out where these registered sex offenders are in the community. And this allows the community to keep tabs on these individuals and keep their children away from them.
What was the loophole in Megan's Law that you felt needed to be addressed?
Well, what happened was when we passed the law in Pennsylvania, we had omitted if you were a transient offender, a homeless offender, or if you had committed an out-of-state offense, that you can just, if you were an out-of-state offender, you can just move to Pennsylvania, take up residency, and then not have to register, which is terrible. So we have people that are moving here because we're kind of a haven, because they don't have to be known as sexual offenders here because they didn't commit the crime in Pennsylvania. And then at the same time, you have people who are homeless or transient. They move around a lot. They don't have a stable residence, and they're not required either to register. So the problem has been across the state of Pennsylvania, we have had district attorneys' offices who have had to actually just let these people go without supervision. In Luzerne County alone, it was estimated that up to 6 offenders in the last year were going unregulated. So this is a really, really important piece of legislation. We've been trying to get this bill passed for a number of years now. It's been used as a political football at budget time and a lot of other times. So we were able to tack it on as an amendment and try to get it through. So it just passed the House again.
How was this loophole discovered?
Well, just because in the law that there's, it omits to allow for transients, homeless, and out-of-state offenders. They're not, they don't fall under the definitions, so they don't have to register every 30 days. So now we're tying that up.
Senate Bill 818, which this amendment is tacked on to, also dealt with an issue that was close to your district, the Kids for Cash scandal. How does Senate Bill 818 deal with that scandal?
Well, Senate Bill 818 is Senator Lisa Baker's bill. She's one of my state senators, and it had passed through the Senate, and it deals with, it actually requires judges from now on, whenever they're sentencing a juvenile who's been deemed delinquent, whenever they sentence a juvenile, they have to state on the record the reasons why they're sentencing, how long the sentence is going to be for, when it'll be reviewed, and you have to state on the record what facility the child's going to. So by requiring this type of accountability from the judicial system, we're making sure that what occurred in Luzerne County is never going to occur in Luzerne again, and it will not be occurring across the state.
And finally, what is the status of Senate Bill 818 right now?
Well, it went back through the House on concurrence, and then it has to go back over to the Senate again. Once it gets through the Senate, Megan's Law will then become, it'll be passed by both houses, but the House and the Senate, and then it has to go to the governor for signing. So we're hoping that, especially with the Megan's Law, that it has to get through. Because right now, there's people in our communities that they normally would be sexual offenders. They would normally have to be registered, but they're not. So they're just lurking in our communities.
All right, well, it looks like this piece of legislation is one that protects children in all aspects.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. And if you have comments or questions about this or any other legislative topic, Representative Toohil's contact information will be on the screen in a few seconds. Thanks for spending 5 minutes with State Representative Tarah Toohil.